So I knew before filming this video I wanted to do like a little bit of preparation, refresh myself so I was familiar with this series. Y'all, I spent 2 hours preparing myself in light of this video. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. Today kicks off, at least for Top 5 Wednesday. We've already kicked off the 25 days of shoujo. I have the calendar here, but for the next few Wednesdays, I am only featuring shoujo manga for Top 5 Wednesday. And I'm really excited. I knew for today's prompt because, goodness, it's been several weeks and I do apologize, but there was a Patreon member who suggested it was either Beast or Beastman Top 5 Wednesday. And I did some thinking and I was like, I don't have a lot of manga that have Beastman in it. And then I was like, well, what about Beast? And I'm like, well, I don't even know if I can make a top 5 for just Beast. And so originally when I was thinking and brainstorming different video ideas for this month, I thought about doing a tier list and ultimately decided to scrap the idea because I was a little bit afraid that it would cause some controversy. And I was like, I don't want that. This is my happy event. And I was like, I just want to gush about series that I love. And I was like, well, hey, one series that definitely has a lot of different Beasts is Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. And I actually had wanted to do a tier list for this series because ultimately the only reason I wanted to do a tier list was not to rank characters and whatnot. I just wanted an excuse to talk about the said manga. And I was like, well, Beast, Sacrificial Princess. I was like, okay, there's a theme there. And so what I'm doing today is I am talking about my top 5 favorite Beasts in Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. I'm really excited. And since it's been a hot minute, because I have done a review, I don't know if it was during the anime or before the anime. I think it was like before I knew about the anime at all. But I love this series, and honestly coming back and spending so much time with these characters again made my heart so happy, even though it's like that just completely derailed my schedule for today. But I'm like, that's okay. We're just gonna ignore that because it'll be worth it. It was worth it. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the characters in like any certain order. I just decided to actually go with the order of the volumes and how when that character was introduced, because I was like, no way could I choose this is my #1 favorite character or this is like my #3 favorite character. I'm like, no, I can't do that. So let's go ahead and dive in to the Sacrificial Princess themed video. Again, very excited. So for #1, I am going to say Sai and Klops. I love their characters. Like from the very first time we meet them in volume 1, they have been amazing. And honestly, they are one of my favorite characters because they have just been so supportive of Sarifa from the start and all the way to the end. They are such loyal and faithful companions. And I definitely think companions is the right word, but I would even say even more great friends to Sarifa, that they have hurt with her when she's hurting. They have celebrated with her when she's happy. They have gotten angry when she's angry or just on her behalf. There are many times, especially in the later volumes, where Sai and Klops are like, no, you can't talk to Sarifa that way. And then we see Sarifa act ultimately amazing because she is such an incredible heroine. This series deserves so much more love than it gets. Yeah, Sai and Klops, I have just loved them so much. I love how they interact with the characters. I love how even for them where they're very scared in the beginning, we see how they react to King Leo here and how they more often than not are so afraid of him, but they see Sarifa, they see how she interacts with them, and they see the changes that other people have had like in their life as a result of getting to know her and overcome that racism. Like, I don't feel like they were ever had that issue with Sarifa or anything like that. I feel like they just were like, okay, you're human, and that was that. And so it was never an issue for their friendship if they could even be friends. And so I feel like, yes, they were loyal and faithful companions in the beginning, and they helped taught her things about the Beast Kingdom and about, her roles as a queen consort. They taught her all of those things. But again, as the series goes on, I really feel like that companionship became a very deep friendship where they genuinely love Sarifa for who she is. Not for what she could do for them, not for what she could do for other people or other beasts, I should say, but just because of who she is as an individual and how she cared for them. I mean, if they were in danger, which there is a scene, I'm sure it's not the only one, but it vividly comes to mind. There's a scene where one of them, Sai or Klops, don't remember which one it was, but they are like, they're about to get smushed by this giant beast. And Sarifa's like, I need to go save them. Thankfully, it wasn't her who saved them, I don't think, but they did get saved. But she's willing to put her life on the line for her friends, for Cyclops, because she cares for them so deeply. And I really do love how they bring a lot of fun humor to this series, and they ask really great questions that make themselves think, but also Sarifa think as as well. And so I love them. They definitely, again, captivated my heart from the very first time that I met them. For number 2, I do feel a little bit biased, and I do feel like this character may be my favorite character in the manga, and that is Princess Amit. I mean, who does not love her? She is so amazing. One of the best friends that Sarifa has. I really feel like that Amit was Sarifa's very first friend. There was no kind of, with Cyclops, I mean, they were tasked to help Sarifa, to help teach her. With Princess Amit, she came to Sarifa, and that is how their friendship slowly ballooned and unfolded. I feel like she is Sarifa's #1 fan and #1 supporter. She goes out of her way to just be there and genuinely cares for Sarifa's overall well-being and wants her safe, especially in the later volumes when things are just chaotic. Princess Amit is putting her own safety at risk just so she can go help Sarifa and help be there and protect her in whatever way she can. Honestly, I can't remember because I couldn't find it, but they are, what is it? I think they said they are like sisters in love, not in this sense with each other. I don't mean it like that, but like they stand together in wanting love because, oh my gosh, like Princess Amit, the crush that she has on another character I'm going to mention, I loved it so much. She is such a beautiful maiden, and I just think she is such a joy in this series. I really love how, like with Cyclops, that Princess Amit, she is very fearful in the beginning, and there's often times where she interacts with somebody who's very rough around the edges and very mean, where Princess Amit just runs off crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, how dare you make her cry? But as the volumes go on, again, near the end, especially when it came to the scene with the amulet and how she just mustered this courage to be brave and be able to express her love to this said character. I feel like they're always cheering one another on, like her and Sarifa, and deeply love and value their friendship. It was so beautiful in this series, and Princess Amit, she just shines. She may not think that she does, but she really does in this series, and I'm so thankful that we just see her in every single volume, that she has plenty of page time, because I was loving it and here for it so much, and I'm really glad that she had a wonderful ending, and I'm very much hoping that we see her in the spinoff series that's coming from Yen Press. Like, please, please. I know we'll see Cyclops. There's no way we wouldn't. But hopefully we see Princess Amit, because she's just a character I can't get enough of and deeply, deeply love her. For number 3, this is another fun character, and that is Lante. Oh my goodness, he is a blast. I forgot how touching his backstory is when he is first meeting Sarifa, how he becomes captain of her guard and her, like, I guess you'd say, like, not her, I guess it'd be like her personal guard, yeah. And how Sarifa views him because he is part of or from the hyena tribe, and there is a lot of prejudice against his tribe because of what happened years and years and years ago. And so he has felt that prejudice in so many different situations, and the way that Sarifa trusted him and believed in him, and how it spoke to Lante, and how he in turn serves her as this guard, where he's like, my loyalty belongs to you, not to the king, but to you, Sarifa. And I loved it. I loved it. I was all here for it. I definitely love the moments where he gets serious and he can kick butt because he looks incredible, but I also love how he can bring some humor and some joy and some jokes, because there are definitely times we need them, and I really love how he just seems to know when Sarifa is feeling down and wants to step in and help raise her mood and is willing to take action, even if sometimes, it's a little bit on the daring side, because I did forget how he challenged somebody to a duel. And he's like, if I win, you have to answer all my ladies' questions. And I was like, you go, Lante. I forgot about that. So I always knew he was super cool. But like those smaller details, I definitely didn't remember until I did this reread today. I guess I'm gonna call it a reread. I didn't read every single volume in its fullness, but yeah, read a lot. But again, I really love his character, and I love that, especially that beginning of how he comes to genuinely trust Sarifa and really see that she is a trustworthy person, and she's not going to betray him because he's a hyena or doesn't meet her expectations or anything. Like, she knows Lante is also a trustworthy person, despite what people may say about him or other beast and what rumors are circulating. She's like, no, no, we ain't doing that. And he has always been there for her from when we meet him in here to later on. And even if times it's like, this is pretty scary, I do just feel like he's always there. And I am excited because I feel like he's going to be in the spinoff as well, based off of a like bonus chapter at the end, or it was the final chapter. And I'm all here for that because I need to see more of Volante as well. Again, he's an amazing character, and maybe he didn't have like the same character arc, say, as like Princess Amit. I do feel like he was such a strong character that he did have moments where he grew as an individual, and that I just thrived seeing him on page. I thrived seeing him when he was kicking butt, and I thrived when he was just trying to make Sacrificial feel better. Anytime he was there, I was loving him because he's another very amazing character. He's just another very amazing character. For number 4, I can't share the cover of this one because he is in the inside because it just says Leo and Sarifa. But this character, he is so precious. I don't know how you say, is it Malo? I'm not sure you say his name. He is this little cutie right here. And I love this arc, or this mini arc, whatever you want to call it, in the series. It is honestly in my top 3 favorites. I was rereading it again in its fullness from like page to page. I was going to say cover to cover, but from page to page, however long it was, and I got so emotional. And I was like, he is so precious. And I really think it's because this guy here is one of my favorite characters as well. And he's not a beast, so I could not mention him. He's so grumpy though, and I didn't like how he treated Sarifa. I forgot. I was like, dude, you were really rough with her. But when we meet him, his whole life changes, and I'm just like, I love it. He was so sweet, and the way he would call him big bro, and then when he had these little flowers, look how precious he is. He's such a cutie. I don't think we even see him again later on. I'm hoping he's in the spinoff series though, because he's so adorable in his bravery, how he didn't care that Isla was a human, and this sweet, precious little moment right here, because he goes to comfort Isla, and he's like, don't touch me, because you're a beast. And you know, he's got beef with the beast. No, that was weird with the bees, but anyway, but he comes up to him, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm petting you because my mom did that with me to make me feel better, but without touching you. And I was like, he's so sweet and adorable. He's just so cute. He is so precious. He is just one of those characters that must be protected at all costs. And if Isla honestly had not defended him, I would have been done with that man. I would have been done with him, because this little guy, he did, like, look at him. He's like, help me, big bro. I mean, he did nothing wrong, and he's just so sweet. And I loved how that he had no prejudice. He didn't care again that he was human. Like, he just didn't. And the way he's just being so brave in this whole scene. And again, I think this is the only chapter that he's in, but it was everything. And his little smile was so precious and so adorable. I loved him. I loved him. He may have just had just one volume of attention, but he held my heart, or he captivated my heart. He stole it, and I have just remembered him very fondly ever since. He is a little cutie patootie. He's on the back cover. Look at him. He's so adorable. So yeah, cuteness one there, and it's just, that again is one of my favorite arcs in this series or chapter, because it's just so touching between them, and I loved how we just got to see him, and I hope we see more of him again in the future, because he's too cute not to see again. And for number 5, last but not least, and I probably gave it as a spoiler by accident, but Sir Jor. I love his cover. It's definitely one of my favorite covers in the series, but Sir Jor, he is amazing, and it's hard for me to say, do I love him as a character? Yes. Do I ship him and Princess Amit very hard, making me love his character more? Also yes. Also yes. He has such a strong and steady presence on page, and I really love how he's just so kind, and I feel like he is like the perfect knight in shining armor, so to speak, of how he is there for Princess Amit, how he has never turned her away. And even though there was one time where I felt like he completely shattered her heart, and I was just like, why? How dare you? How dare you? But he honestly had the best of intentions, and it was not to hurt her. I hope we see more of him in the next volume as well. I sort of feel like we will, because he is so loyal to Leo, and I just feel like there's no way he wouldn't be there. Anyway, sorry, I saw the truck fly by outside, and I'm like, I have manga coming today, and I'm wondering if it's on that truck. Anyway, sorry. But I really loved him, and I loved how when things were chaotic with Leo and people were questioning loyalties, that Sir Jor never ever hesitated, questioned, or wavered in his loyalty to Leo, period. It didn't matter how he looked like, he was 100% faithful to him, stood up for him as his captain, which he should, but I really love that loyalty that we see in him, and again, just his strength on page, and just how soft he is with Princess of Meat. I really loved it. That's why this is one of my favorite volumes, because I love how they're cheering right here. That's why I said they're like, you know, sisters in love, where they're cheering for one another, for their love lives, and wanting them to go all out for their relationships, and really just wanting their love to be received, and being brave and taking those choices and those actions to show their love to the other person. But we're talking about Sir Jorah here. But he was great, and I love things that everything I've seen with him. I really loved his friendship with Anubis, who I debated putting on this list because I really did. I had a lot of mixed feelings with Anubis, but I love those moments where we see his heart and we see who he is and how much he cares. So I really loved their moments together as well as friends, and the moments he has with Leo and just his backstory. I loved everything about him. He was another great character. I feel like it's harder to say specifically of why I loved it in more detail compared to everybody else, but I definitely feel that he is in my top 5 because I just loved how he acted in every single moment. Like, there was just never a moment where he just wasn't amazing. And honestly, that proves true for all of these characters that I talked about today. I love them all. There's so many wonderful characters in this series, and I really hope that if you haven't read it or if you haven't seen the anime, please give it a chance. It is wonderful. Again, I have that video review if you're interested in some non-spoiler thoughts. This series is just so impactful, and I'm really thankful for a chance to just gush about these characters and how much I love them and how happy they have made me when I've read and reread, especially this little kitty right here. It is great. The characters are great, and I hope that fulfilled this prop, that I did a good job, because I felt bad that I didn't have a lot of like diversity with the beasts from other series, but I enjoyed this so much. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some beasts that you love in manga or other stories you've read? Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!